Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at some of these charts. We'll focus mostly on Bitcoin, a bit of an overview of altcoins, and then I'm going to respond to a couple of the altcoin requests that were left for me yesterday. So, and if there's any more altcoin requests, just let me know in the comments, and I'll see if there's anything worth talking about. It would appear that some of these things are sort of turning up now. I couldn't believe it when I saw Atom, excuse me, Atom sort of rolling out of bed here. At one point, almost close to 10% up in a day. I'm very sort of optimistic on Atom, but my optimism has never returned by price, unfortunately. So when I saw that yesterday, I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. So even Atom can move, yeah. Right, so let's focus on Bitcoin, and we're looking at this on the 4 hours. So the 10 exponential has held for the last few days as support, but is it going to continue to hold? Because I was thinking that given the bearish divergence, especially with Ethereum as well, we should be looking for a pullback before we move up again. If we were to pull back on this 4 hour, we've got the bottom of the Bollinger Band coming in at that at where the resistance trend line is, that hasn't yet really been retested, not properly. So that's around 67,600. That's where we'll be looking for a bounce to take place from. And if it does go any lower than that, probably just a little tiny wick down below 67,000. And that's as of this very moment in time. This is where the 50 exponential comes in on the 4 hourly. Again, with every 4 hourly closure, it's going to be a little higher. So depending on when you've seen the video, the moving average will have changed. Same thing going on with the 10 exponential. That is also sitting at just more or less 67,000 as well. So that would be a nice area to have a retest. Now we've got the trend signal here on the daily now, which is good. So the Ichimoku cloud's given us that trend signal, which is absolutely in play. We've got a golden cross as well on exponential moving averages as well, which is lovely. That's the perfect duo of indicators, two trend signals strengthening. Now, the moment of glory. What do we have on the weekly? We have also the trend signal is set in stone. It's baked in now. So the only way that this would cancel would be if the GQ spend closes inside the price action, which would mean a weekly closure below 63,700, or a negative cross between the blue conversion and the red baseline. So, look, I like what I see. I've liked it for a little while. In fact, I've liked it so much that for the last 8 days I've been telling everybody, pump, 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 pump. Look, it's all about the pump, alright? I've been very clear and adamant over the last week that things are looking very good, very strong, not to get shaken out, not to overtrade. Take day-to-day price action as it is, because the longer trend is the one that you want to be focusing on. And this is the longer trend. We'll do it one last time then, shall we? Take us to our log scale, get the indicators off, have a little look at the projection. Consolidate throughout the summer, break out towards the end of the year, general continuation throughout next year. This is it. Alright, so yeah, I'm sure you'll have a little up and a little down. You might even see downs of 20% or more at some points, maybe even more than that, maybe 30-40% pullbacks on altcoins. But it doesn't take away the fact that the risk versus the reward is more than acceptable. In fact, it's been so acceptable for quite a while now that we should all have our portfolios set and solidified, and staking even. There's absolutely nothing wrong with putting things into a 3 or a 6 month staking at this stage now. And make the most of it. Get that crypto to work for you, really, because you're not going to really want to sell it for a good 11-12 months. I would imagine. That doesn't mean lock it up for 12 months. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, locking it up for periods of months, I don't see a problem with that. In fact, all it should do really is help you stick to the original plan, which is now we're waiting for the breakout and then the continuous move up. We've got plenty of breakouts on momentum from the total 2 at this stage now. And if we just flip ourselves back to regular and get our indicators on, we'll just have a little soak up of this chart to see what's going on over here. So no trend signal on this one, no pump signal on this one either. So this was still slow and steady wins the race over here. So we don't really need to look at it in any other way, is that it's still within the triangle. It's not effectively broken out. Pullbacks from this area could easily take you back down to where we started from last week, 900 billion. That's all absolutely perfectly acceptable and fine. And again, getting a rejection on the 200 on the 200 simple here is also fine. It's to be expected. It's the first time we've touched it since we lost it all the way back in August. So a rejection here is perfectly acceptable. Pullbacks can take you all the way down to, like I say, 900 billion. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Now, the dominance chart found itself getting rejected once again from a higher high. So we've got plenty of bearish divergence on this, and we've been talking about how the money flow index is relatively high compared to where it likes to be. You know, in the past, when we do come out of the overheated, the comfort level, the above 80, for instance, or up to 80, we have found that it does respond quite aggressively in favour of alts. This one here, and not exactly the first one, but the second read over here, which was the bearish divergence as well. So historically, some significant rallying on altcoins, should we call it an alt season? Go on, alt season, appears from these levels, right? And so I don't see any reason to doubt that one is around the corner if we're not already in it. But, you know, dominance chart is a hard one to play. It's more of a guide than anything, and since we broke from the 58.5% dominance, I was looking for maybe a move all the way up to 63.5, 64, and it doesn't have to happen now, right? That doesn't have to happen right away. We could even have the pullback on this one now, and the altcoins rally now. We could see that. We could absolutely see that. Let's have a think about Ethereum. So Ethereum had a nice run up to the 21 exponential on the weekly, so effectively a center range. If you're going to get pulled back, you'll get pulled back from here. Obviously, historically, we can see the 200 exponential and simple are the supports, and so this is the most appropriate resistance. And if we do break a little higher than that, 2,800, which is all fine. So it doesn't all have to happen in one day. I was looking at this on the 4-hourly yesterday, thinking, well, you know, with this sort of pizza formation, this is more likely to break down than break out, but I was wrong on that one. There is no set of indicators that give 100% chance of success, but yeah, it broke out. So now, if anything, we're looking for a retest of that trend line back down to 2,670, roughly thereabouts, for continuation up. I mean, I have to say things are looking very good, but from today, I probably would be looking for a pullback, you know, 67,000-ish area for Bitcoin, and then wherever altcoins go as a result of that. But things are looking very, very tasty, very nice indeed. So I'll leave it there. There's nothing much more to say. This goes to, this is going to be like the 9th video in a row where I'm just talking about how things are going to keep going up and things are looking good and things are going up and blah, blah, blah. That is going to be probably the general vibe until further notice. However, if you are looking for a day-to-day approach of what's going to happen this very moment in time, or what I think is going to happen over the next 24 hours, I would probably say that the chances of a pullback are more likely today than they have been any other day. Tuesday often has a bit of a pullback as well, so don't be surprised to see lower areas get tagged on charts and we don't go immediately up from this morning onwards. But if you're focused on the higher term time frames, especially for Bitcoin, which is the leader of the pack, we've got trend signal on the daily and on the weekly, so it's hard to argue with that as a good setup, really, and I'll be looking for further upside. Now, when Bitcoin approaches its previous all-time high, so it gets closer and closer to the $70,000 zone and the mid-70s, probably be on the back foot for what could be a liquidation event, a fearful rejection, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But generally, as far as momentum and trend is concerned, it does point to further up. And this is no different to everything that I've been saying since December last year. Things are good. We had that huge alt season. Well, I say huge. The biggest one we've had of the cycle so far. We made the most of that. We exited our positions, enjoyed the consolidation, did a few bounces here and there. Very nice. But now it is really a matter of just allowing for the crypto to make you some money over a prolonged period of time. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Links in the description below for the Telegram and the Patreon if you're interested. Other than that, hope you have a nice day and take it easy.